Hey again, let me talk in this video about Lambda. Lambda is a new approach to write the function, and it's been using recently in many programming languages. So let me see example of how to use Lambda. So to get started, I will create a new file, Kotlin file, and I will name it Lambda. Okay, so simply before you write talking about Lambda, if you want to write a function for adding two numbers, so you will say function sum, for example, whatever, number one should be integer, and number two should be integer also, it should be number two. And here you decide if you want to return. If you don't return anything, you just say, for example, let me assume just for now you say val temp number one equal number one plus number two, and you may need to return. So maybe you say, okay, I want to return the temp. Or some genius will come here and say, why, you don't need this variable, you could just directly say return number one and number two, and you should be all set. Now here it tells you there is a problem, because we know if we define a function, we should tell the function like what's the data type that this function should return. So I would assume I will add here sign for saying, hey, I will return an integer. Okay, so I will not have that issue. So I will define my main function, and I will define my variable. I say add numbers. Okay, and the add numbers will call some function, and I send them 3 and 4. Now I say print line, or a print for the add number. It should show me the addition of 3 and 4. This is a basic way to write a function, and you already learned this previously. Now after it's run, let we learn how to convert this function to Lambda. C7. So how we convert this one to Lambda? Okay, in a state function, we name it variable, and for now we just name it val for the sum. For the sum, you'll say will be equal, and this will be your Lambda. So you just open a bracket, all the data between open a bracket and a close a bracket. This is the input parameter, first input parameter, colon, second input parameter, then the content. To separate the content from the input parameter, we use this sign. So that's mean, hey, this is the input parameter. Anything after this, it's be the content of the function. Now we no longer need to use return. It will be this enough. So the same function. Now if I just click right, I should get same results, but using the Lambda. This is what we name it the Lambda, just expression to write your function. So the way of writing the function, you say val function name equal, then you open a bracket, close it, then you define your input parameter, and you use this one between one input parameter and another, then you use this sign after that, then you write the content of your function. And this is how we could implement Lambda in our classes. One good thing you have to know, Lambda has been implemented in many data structures in Kotlin. So for example, let me assume I have list of numbers. Okay, list of numbers, and this one will be list of. Okay, type of list of. Let's assume I have 10, 15, 22, 34, 80. Okay, this is list of numbers. Now I want to print them. You know there's a different way to print them. You could just say for each like number in this list. This is the one way. I know this is the one way to print it. Say in for any number in this list. I could say print line for the number, and I just make sure I have print line here so I will not have issue, and I say print line, just see the output clear, list of numbers. Okay, so it be clear, and this one will be add two numbers, or I could name it just this way, just add this one between string, then colon, then dollar sign, this variable, and we should be all set. Now if I just click right, I should be able in this case create a list and iterate through the list to print all the elements using just normal for loop. Okay, but as I told you, see, this is normal for loop. So as I told you, we could use lambda because they already implement lambda here. So you could say list of elements dot each. Okay, in this way. For each. See, they did implement lambda for you. So then open a bracket, close it. Now for each item, or I could name it for each number in the list, I could do whatever I want. So now every time it runs, it will get one number to me. This one for each, because this is a lambda expression for this function for each. So they have a lambda expression, name it for each. I could call it now. I just send it the number. For example, I say a print line for that number, and this one should give me exactly what this code give me. So I no longer need this code. I use a lambda way, and if I just run it back, I would assume I should see same results. Why? Because they already did implement lambda for me, so I could just call that lambda and do whatever I want. See, same result that I had before. So by the end of the video, what you have to understand, like lambda is a way of writing your function in synthetic sugar way, like making it easy or different way. And very simple. You just define, open a bracket, define your parameters, this sign, then the content of the functions. As you see, also it could be implemented in the class, like this class, which is list of. They have already lambda for each, so you know how to use it. Whenever you have a lambda, I say I open a bracket, close it. This is the parameter I expect this lambda will get. Then this sign, then the content of the function. You will see this one more when we will go to the object-oriented programming, and we will see how we could implement or the lambda inside the class, inside our class. So our class will have a lambda, so I could call back things. Here we're done. Thanks for watching, and see you next.